So I wanted to make a quick video in the nursery today about weeding. So depending on how you set up your nursery space and what sort of soil medium you put into your boxes and how densely you plant your seeds, you will need to monitor the boxes for potential weeds. Weeds can be brought in the soil. They can fall from trees that may be close to your boxes. Birds can land on your boxes and deposit seeds down into them. There are many ways they can get in there. And I'll show you a box we have here that needs some weeding done and talk about what you may be seeing. So here's a box that we planted out with sycamore seeds, but there are a lot of different plants growing in here at the moment. So we want to weed out everything else and just keep the desired tree, which is sycamore. Now, it's best to weed early. You don't want other plants to get really established and to create big root systems, because when you pluck those out and pull out that root system, it can disturb your other trees. If they get too big, you might even want to just cut the weed and not actually pull it out. But all the weeds you see here are pretty small, and we can go ahead and pull those. So before you start just pulling, spend some time making sure you know what's growing in here. Now, there'll be easy things that you want to weed. For instance, this is a box of sycamores again. We know this is not a sycamore, this is a loblolly pine. We can pull that. We'll see little grasses, we can pull those. We'll see things that are not trees like this, we can pull that. But when it becomes difficult is when the trees are just sprouting. And that's because a new tree sprouting from seed will put out leaves that do not look like what a mature tree leaf looks like. So for instance, again, this is a sycamore box. For those of you who are familiar with sycamores, you might not be seeing any leaves that look like sycamore. But in fact, there's a lot of sycamores here. And that's because the first leaves that are put out are called cotyledons. And they do not look anything like what a mature tree leaf looks like. So for instance, this actually is a baby sycamore. And you can see those two little leaves on either side do not look like anything like a sycamore leaf. And you can see this next one that's coming out looks very different. So these two are the cotyledons. This is a true leaf, but it still doesn't look like a sycamore leaf. You can see those leaves get bigger. Like here's a larger one, very different than the cotyledon, but still not a sycamore leaf. And what can be difficult is you can have other trees that have sprouted in here, like this is a sweet gum, and it may also be a maple. I'm not even sure at this point. But I know it's not a sycamore because the cotyledon looks quite different. It's thicker, and the first couple of leaves that come out look very different than the sycamores. So you need to spend some time observing your tree seedlings, learning about what the cotyledons look like, learn what the first couple leaves look like, and also learn what potential other trees, we have big sweet gums and elms and maples around here, what those look like. So as you're weeding, you're not pulling out the tree you want.